Right. Returning after a couple of shows this past weekend, Brandon After, and of course the bizarre one, Dave. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Can't
Hey,
complain. Can't complain.
not too bad. A long weekend of wrestling, and now we just finished another 2 days of Brooklyn.
Yes. First off, before we jump into tonight's show, I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined us the last 4 days that we were live on Periscope and on YouTube. We grinded hard these past couple of days. We did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we appreciate everybody who popped in those last couple of days throughout the follows, the super hearts, everything like that, sharing the broadcast. We do really appreciate everybody's support here on the show. And we also want to thank Brandon After as well for joining us Saturday and Sunday. Oh, excuse me, for Sunday's SummerSlam show, and also to Mr. Catino as well for popping on with us. We really do appreciate you guys doing that. And Spees as well, thank you again for being our second donator to the Patreon account. So we really do appreciate that. Again, if you go over there on Patreon, Get the Tables Podcast, if you want to support the show by donating just a simple $1 or $5, will get you right into the giveaway at the end of the month. And don't forget to comment on the YouTube video from SummerSlam for the Thursday night giveaway. So, all right, let's jump right into Raw because it was a pretty stacked show, I must say, last night. So, do you want to go? Let's go a little different route this time. We're going to do the 3 likes and the 3 dislikes of Raw last night, if you guys can remember. They give you guys a little bit of a rundown. We had Roman Reigns open the show and issue the challenge to Finn Balor, mentioning that he hasn't had his rematch since he lost, the title was taken from him from his injury. So they made the match between Roman Reigns and Finn Balor for the main event. They also had Bobby Lashley take on Constable Corbin. We had the 6-women tag match, Sasha Banks, Ember Moon, and Bayley taking on the Riot Squad. Dean Ambrose taking on Dolph Ziggler. We had the Triple H segment hyping up his match between The Undertaker at the I forgot what the hell it's called. What show? The Greatest Show.
Super Show.
Super Show. There you go. I should have remembered that. It's so generic. And then also we had Elias take on Kurt Hawkins, of all people. Arthur Zerpain taking on Titus Worldwide. Bo Dallas, Scott Dawson. Dash Wilder, Curtis Axel. And then the main event, of course, which was Finn Balor and Roman Reigns. And we'll touch on that in depth, of course. So after, we'll go with you first, my friend. Give me 1 like from last night's Raw.
My 1 like, I'd normally go to anything Seth Rollins is involved in.
Okay.
Since he didn't have an official match, I'm actually going to go with Roman Reigns. Overall, he was my like. I feel like on Monday night, that was the best I've seen Roman Reigns in years. And I think what we got caught up in a little bit is that he was handicapped by this whole Lesnar feud. He belongs in the ring with the Finn Balors, the Seth Rollins, the Dolph Zigglers, not with the bigger guys. The matches are more exciting, and they have moments where they're in holds as well. So right from the beginning, when he brought out Finn Balor to his match with Finn Balor to how it all ended, was really good. So I think it's very refreshing to have a Universal Champion on Raw that will be defending it regularly. And I was just very impressed with him overall as the Universal Champ.
Wow. Is Brandon After becoming a fan of Mr. Roman Reigns? Is it happening? I think it might be. We'll go with you next, Bizarre One. 1 like from last night's Monday Night Raw.
Are we just doing 1 like at all?
Well, we're going to go back and forth.
I'll go the B team.
What?
I like the B team.
Okay, what particular thing did you like? But then was it them losing to the Revival?
No. I like their overall stuff that they did last night, saying you beat us 1-on-1, but we're a team, we're the tag team champions and all that. So I don't know, I just find them entertaining. And the song, I like the song.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Thank you, Hoops88, for the Super Heart. You hate on my boys, the Street Profits.
Who?
But you like the B team. Can I say that? You like the B team, but hate on the Street Profits. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I have to say about that.
You want me to give you a reason?
Go ahead, please.
To me, nothing against the Street Profits, but to me, Axel and Bo Dallas are two guys who got called up and who you really didn't see a lot happening for them for years since they've been up there. And now they're finally getting that opportunity. And I like seeing guys like that finally get opportunities and get chances to shine and all that. I like that because I really enjoy those two guys. And guys like that get overlooked and never used properly, it seems, in the WE lately. And so to see them getting a push, I just love that. That's why I like them more than the Street Profits.
All right. Fair. All right, so let's go with a dislike, Brendan, after a dislike from last night's Raw.
Ronda Rousey segment was hard. I mean, a hot pile of dumpster fire. It was terrible. That whole thing. She won the Raw title way too quickly. The whole women's division was devalued, and it was disrespectful to the rest of the women's division to have somebody who's been there just 7 months, like saying, like, I wouldn't be here without you. Yes, you would, because they're paying you the big bucks. Exactly. And now what? Are we going to get another, like, is this a Stephanie Ronda thing for the WWE Super Show or Evolution, or will this be, because Constable Corbin is pretty much Stephanie's right-hand man? Are we going to see Constable Corbin now suspend Ronda? So, she wants to be a fighting champion, but she's probably going to get suspended anyway. So that whole segment was just pretty garbage. Oh, the armbar. Oh, my God, the armbar. Okay, it's just like wash, rinse, repeat. I get she was very over, but I'm not a Ronda Rousey fan, and I can't wait for the first person who actually beats her now.
You might be waiting a while.
See, and the one thing, and Sasha Banks and Bayley had like the best reactions to the whole thing. I don't know if anybody saw like the gifs going around of them too. They were not feeling that segment at all. And it just felt stupid. You're going to have that little segment just for an armbar and have them separate Ronda and have them separate Stephanie and then have her raise her hand at the end of the segment. That was just so brutal. And it just didn't make any sense to me. And you're probably right that they're going to probably suspend her until probably Evolution. And they're going to probably make her face it. I wouldn't doubt we see her face Stephanie McMahon for the title. That'd be, yeah. I mean, why the hell would they just set this up randomly just to get her
it just seemed kind of weird that Stephanie McMahon was even there because we haven't seen her and Ronda really interact until after WrestleMania. So now it's just blah, 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 protege. It just seemed kind of random.
Yeah, and something else really quick is that the way she was introducing her, you would think, like, if you were new to this and you were just tuning in for a while, seeing her for a while, you would think, oh, Ronda's a heel and she's Stephanie's basically thug or whatever you want to call it, her personal protege, like she said. You would have thought that. And I was like thinking, like, man, that would actually been an interesting way to bring her in originally as just Stephanie's enforcer, basically.
I just didn't like how they had all the women out there. I just thought that was kind of. And
the whole championship presentation was just devaluing and disrespectful to the rest of the women's division.
It was centered around Stephanie McMahon. It was just all about her. She's in the middle of the ring with the women surrounding her outside of the ring. She has no reason. And like, when's the last time we've seen a title change happen on Raw where the woman gets that type of a celebration where Stephanie comes out, brags about them, and crowns them with the women? We have never seen that unless they're debuting a title. Then they have the women surround like they did when they debuted the Raw and SmackDown title. I mean, it was a wreck. It was a car wreck. Rousey didn't sound too good.
She's so bad on the mic. She's so bad.
It seems like if they're gonna get Rousey suspended, just pop on Stephanie McMahon, have her do an armbar, she'll be suspended for 30 days. So
one thing that confused me about that segment too, not to keep talking about it, but was the Bella twins.
Yeah.
Why were they there? I mean, that confused me. I was like, they're not officially back. I didn't think they were on the roster, and all of a sudden they're standing there on the apron.
We've all heard the rumors going around town that it's supposed to be Ronda versus Nikki at Evolution. It's going to be the main event of Evolution, which will probably be the worst idea they would ever do.
Yeah,
But
but to
I
have
kind
them
of,
there,
expected Nikki to attack Ronda. To be
yeah, that's
honest
what I
with
was
you,
thinking.
I was thinking Nikki's gonna clock her from behind, and I don't know if Brie was gonna help as well. You probably, after seeing what happened tonight, wouldn't have made sense if she did. But that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking Nikki's gonna come behind, hit her from behind, and there we go. That started the whole feud between Ronda and Nikki Bella. But we didn't get any of that after that. And Nikki Alexa Bliss was also wearing an arm brace, playing off the whole armbar injury from Sunday night as well. But both of you guys didn't care for this segment at all. Any bright spots? Bright spots out of this segment? Nothing.
Only when it ended.
I guess Ronda's going away for a while, so I guess you consider that a bright spot. And yet she's not the female Brock Lesnar. She's going to be there every week defending it, but now whenever you attack authority figure, you get suspended.
Yeah, it hasn't been official, but it wouldn't be surprise me if that happened.
Yeah, because what happened last night we didn't mention, but we'll kind of touch on it, get your thoughts on it. Stephanie McMahon, after she was attacked, was in the medical locker room getting looked at. Corbin and, of course, Angle was there. And Stephanie McMahon pretty much summed it up like this and said, Angle, you're kind of losing control here, and I think it's time for a little break, time for a little vacation. So they gave Angle the night off plus vacation. They didn't say a timetable. But now it's going to be GM, Constable Corbin, stepping in the Kurt Angle role. Your thoughts, Dave, on this new GM role given by Stephanie McMahon to Constable Corbin?
This is going to be bad, I'm afraid. I mean, I know Brandon likes Corbin, but I mean, I just think this is going to be bad. Because why does Raw always have to go through stuff like this? It's like Raw always has to go through general managers left and right. I know he's not fired, but it seems like they always have to have a heel or a face GM on Raw. When SmackDown went, like with the Teddy Long years, went on forever as only being the only SmackDown GM forever, but Raw always seems to have that kind of unstable GM role.
Yeah, and I do think it's time for Angle to take a little break. He's been grinding hard in the Raw GM. He's been there every night, even when they go overseas and stuff. So I think it's time for him to have this vacation. I'm sure he's needed it. But what are your thoughts after Constable Corbin, now the general manager of Raw, going forward?
I mean, how can you think of anybody else more deserving than Stephanie's right-hand man, Constable Corbin, to make sure things are okay while Kurt Angle is on vacation? Right, guys?
Right.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
No. Tony, I'd agree with you here with regard to Kurt needing to take a vacation. I think he had so much momentum when he started being the GM, and now, I mean, he's an Olympic gold medalist, a WWE Hall of Famer, and he's getting walked over by Constable Corbin. Like, if there's any silver lining to Constable Corbin being the interim general manager of Raw, it's because, I mean, it's so we don't have to watch them continue to abuse a WWE superstar, WWE Hall of Famer, and a cornerstone of one of the greatest eras in WWE history.
Wow, okay. So you're not really feeling the way they're treating Kurt Angle. Now, do you think this is going to maybe possibly lead up to a match between Corbin and Kurt Angle?
I mean, I think if they were going to do that, it would have happened already. They've been going back and forth for a while now.
And Speed said that Corbin GM works piss off everybody short term, but when he finally gets replaced, huge pop, which is true. When Kurt Angle does eventually come back, he'll get that huge pop. But yeah, that's another one. Budweiser says Survivor Series team, Captain Corbin, Captain Angle.
Yeah, but don't you want to save that for Raw versus SmackDown? Wouldn't it be kind of a waste with like Captain Corbin, Captain Angle versus each other? I think you want to go the other route. Maybe have them like co-captains of Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, if they're still doing it, which I assume they are.
Right, and they could also possibly have maybe them go one-on-one at Survivor Series as well. that's also something to look into as well. We had the Bobby Lashley Constable Corbin match. Other than Bobby Lashley winning, any thoughts on that, Brendan? After?
No, not really. Nothing really of note. Just continuing to put Bobby Lashley in situations where he's bound to underwhelm. He deserves better than this, and I'm not the biggest Bobby Lashley fan, but he's in that rut, and I'm not really sure how they're going to get him out of that rut because they have a couple of superstars stuck kind of in the middle right now. And unfortunately, he was one of those guys. They're trying to make Corbin relevant, and I think they're trying a little bit too hard, but he's still not relevant enough to where a match with Bobby Lashley. Like, Bobby Lashley didn't even get much pop last night in Brooklyn.
No.
He wasn't even at SummerSlam, and he came out, and I mean, the place didn't seem to react that well for him. So,
Yeah, I agree with you. For a Brooklyn crowd, other than the B team matches, they weren't trying to hijack like they usually try to do. I know it's nothing like WrestleMania post shows, but it's still one of those, I wouldn't want to call Mark fans, but a lot of those type of fans go to those type of shows. So I'm surprised they didn't try to hijack it more than they did.
They'll get another chance after WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, of course. Any thoughts on this, Dave? Before we move on.
Not the only thoughts I have about this. Well, I guess I could save it for the end. So I'll save it. Okay, no.
Okay. Fair enough. So let's move on to some other news where we had Paul Heyman. Before I get to y'all's next slide, because I want to see y'all's answer on this one, because we touched on Constable Corbin now taking over the GM role. But before then, we had Paul Heyman backstage with Kurt Angle and says that Brock Lesnar has a contractual rematch clause for the Universal title and asks Kurt when he is getting it. Kurt says he is a fighting champion right now, and it will be a long time until Brock gets his rematch. I think it meant to say he has a fighting. Anyways, Paul says he agrees and says he wants it to be at Hell in a Cell, which I was like, okay, I'm going to that. I'm excited. I want to see that. But Kurt says, forget about it in the Brooklyn accent. So now that Kurt Angle is not the general manager, do we now see Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell? What do you think after?
I don't think at Hell in a Cell. I mean, what's the point? Like, again, WWE, like, it wouldn't surprise me if WWE did that. But at the same time, I feel like we all kind of feel as if that feud is kind of put to bed.
Right.
Like, it's over. So to do that at a match like Hell in a Cell, not a huge fan of that. If we're talking the WWE Super Show in Australia, I think I'd be fine with that because the title's likely not going to change hands. And I think it's more well fit for one of those kinds of shows than one of their like actual pay-per-views. No offense to like the Super Show in Australia, but I would hope they do it there and not at Hell in a Cell, because I feel like there are other matchups that intrigue more than Brock and Roman leading up to the Hell in a Cell.
Okay, fair point. Also, you would have to think that also Brock Lesnar is apparently supposed to be fighting soon. So I don't know if it is worth him even trying to wrestle a Hell in a Cell where he can get injured very easily in a type of match like that. But what about you, Dave? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be till next year because DC is still I don't know how long it takes to recover from a broken hand, but he broke his hand in his last fight, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I could see it definitely with Corbin in charge now that happening, and it would definitely help the ticket sales for San Antonio show.
Well, here's the thing: they have advertised some matches for the pay-per-view, so earmuffs if you don't want to know. But spoiler alert, they have announced 3 matches on the commercial. One, obviously, we're probably going to see it, which was Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. Another one was Rollins and Ambrose teaming up against Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. And the other one is AJ Styles and Samoa Joe inside of Hell in a Cell. So those are the 3 local advertised matches so far. If anything changes... The funny thing is, though, a month ago when they first did this commercial for Hell in a Cell, guess what match they had for Roman Reigns? Guess who they had him facing? Any guesses in the chat, Raptor?
Dave? Nope.
Bo Dallas.
Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens.
Oh.
Yeah, inside of Hell in a Cell too as well. Yes, well, that is actually true. Because I was going to touch on that on SmackDown Live. Yes, we had another match added to the card as well. So let's move on to another like from you, Dave. What else did you like from Raw last night?
Now, a lot of people don't like the guy, but I do. So, Triple H.
Okay, Triple H, the segment where Triple H came out, pretty much thanked the fans for the wonderful shows on Saturday and Sunday, and then he started hyping up the match between him and The Undertaker. The only thing I did not like was the fans chanting, "You still got it." Because I thought that was fucking hilarious. Because do they not know who they're chanting "You still got it" to? A guy that still wrestles, and a guy that wrestled not too long ago at the Greatest Royal Rumble, to be exact, and also at WrestleMania as well. So I'm like, okay, he hasn't announced that he's retired or anything, so you chanting "You still got it" was just silly. But he was hyping up the match, of course, against him and Undertaker at the Australia Super Show. After, your thoughts on this little segment?
I mean, I thought it was good. I thought it was a little long. I liked it. I mean, I can't say that I'm looking forward to the match necessarily. I'm looking forward to more Triple H wrestling than The Undertaker. I mean, nothing against The Undertaker, but I mean, we've seen him in a couple of matches since he came back at WrestleMania to fight John Cena, and we know what shape he's in. You know, he's out there doing this for, you know, the fans, not because he can still do it necessarily. But I thought it was a good segment. I just thought it was a little long, and Triple H has still got it. I have no problem with the fans saying that, because the fact is we don't get to see him wrestle as often, even though we got to see him at the Greatest Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. We don't get to see him as much as we want to. So I think constantly reminding him that he does still have it is just fine.
Oh, but man, it's Triple H. He knows he still has it.
You know
that he go. Go
Tony,
ahead.
really. Yeah, I loved when Triple H came out. I thought he was gonna come out to the game, but he came out to like the King of Kings song, which is one of my favorites, and then how he just did the whole. He did the NXT thing, where the crowd started doing the NXT thing, which is really cool. And then he like went from being like the guy, you know, the business guy, Triple H, then he just like flipped that switch into cutting a really good promo, and it was just like, man, he turns it on and off like that. It's just like, wow. I mean, you forget how maybe he's not talked about enough as one of the better talkers in wrestling.
I think the best part of that whole segment was when he pretty much said wrestling wouldn't be where it is without Shawn Michaels. And I couldn't agree with him more. So
I think the best thing he said in that promo was that as long as he's alive, he's going to be fighting for what, you know, the wrestling that he wants.
That too. That was next after that. He said when he mentioned Shawn, that was great. I thought
he also mentioned The Undertaker, so
no, I don't think he did. I don't remember hearing that part. But that was a pretty good promo, and a good hype video getting it to the great Super Show in Australia. So, all right, after this lifetime. You don't have any. Hey, fair enough.
No, my dislike was the B team matches. As much as I like the B team, B was for bad yesterday. And I think they're very entertaining, but I think the entertainment value of the matches were not very good.
Okay, I can see that. All right, fair point on that. What about you, Dave? What did you think of that?
Yeah, I agree. The matches weren't good. I just like their stuff. Like, not so much the match itself. Even their matches aren't that great, but I just like them as a team, the characters they are. But I got a dislike for you too, and for the millionth time in a row, AOP versus Titus Worldwide.
That was bad.
Yeah, exactly. That was bad. That was another dislike for me right there.
And what are they trying to tease here? Where they showed Dana Brooke kind of talking with Apollo Crews before the match, and kind of talking without breaking news from the WWE for the Super Show. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna check it. All right. Checking it. Like, but yeah, your thoughts on that? After you said you didn't like it either.
I didn't like what? The
AOP.
Yeah, no, I didn't like it. I wasn't really paying attention because I just expected it to not be good. I know the breaking news you're talking about, though.
I'm looking right now. Is it the breaking news? Where's I don't see no damn breaking news. What is the breaking news?
The announcement was that the Shield will be wrestling at the WWE Super Show in Australia. So they don't know who they're facing yet, but it will be Roman, Seth, and Dean Ambrose.
There's also prepare to see John Cena and Bobby Lashley to take on Kevin Owens and Elias in Melbourne, everybody. Yes, and also the Shield will be in action as well. So there you go. Yeah, so
I thought you were going to say Bobby Lashley versus John Cena. I was like, ooh, I could get behind that. But no, they got to team up against that. Yeah, never mind.
The odds of Owens and Elias winning are 0. So let's move on the likes of Raw last night. After your last like, before I touch on a little bit more on some certain stuff on Raw.
My last like would have to be the Ziggler-Ambrose match. That was a phenomenal match. It was so, like, those guys are just it's very entertaining. It was full speed, and just seeing Ambrose wrestle for real for the first time since he's come back from injury, it's like he hasn't lost a step. And the Drew McIntyre Seth Rollins drama on the outside of the ring was also great, and that ending where Rollins ran across the ring and did a suicide dive into Drew McIntyre, and then Dean Ambrose went into that like phenomenal dirty deeds to end the match. I mean, it was such a good match. That was probably the highlight of my night. I loved that match. It was very, very good.
Yeah, the ending transition to the ending of that match was great, where he reversed whatever Ziggler was trying to do into the dirty deeds, which probably was like a flying reversal DDT something. He gets into the dirty deeds, beats him, and Dean Ambrose is back. Everybody hasn't lost a step. And then we saw him again later on at the end of the evening. We'll touch on that after this. But your thoughts, Dave, on that Ziggler and Ambrose match before we get to your last like?
I'm glad Dean's back. Everyone's gonna hate me on this one, but I didn't really care.
Oh God.
I didn't really care for a Dean and Ziggler match because how many times have we seen it? I mean, it's been done so many times. Okay, Dean's either gonna
be fair. It's been over at least 8 months. So.
Okay, yes, but how many times was it done though before that? Like when they had that feud on SmackDown not that long ago, and it's just like, I don't know. Once you've seen it, it's like with WWE, you see all these recycled feuds from SmackDown or Raw, or even reversal, Raw to SmackDown. You know, we see these recycled feuds over and over, and I'm just like, it's like Rollins and Ziggler. How many times do we see that when Rollins is world champion?
Okay, all right. So you're glad Dean's back. Didn't necessarily care for the match too much. All right, fair point. What's up, Brandon Catino? Welcome to the show, my man. All right, Dave, your last like of Raw last night.
Wow. Not a lot, really. I can't really think of anything else I liked. Oh, last like. Okay, fine. I forgot about this. Last like. Okay, I got to give him credit. Okay, the main event, I'll give that. Unless we're going to talk about that separately.
Oh, yeah, we're going to touch on the main event. But go ahead and give your little quick thoughts on it.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a Universal title match. I thought the match was really good. Me as a fan of WWE, I kept expecting some type of shenanigans in this match. Kind of got it at the end, but we really didn't. The match was still ended kind of clean, and I was just expecting this match not to happen. Maybe the cynic in me was just expecting WWE to never give us good free matches on free TV, and but I thought the match was really good. I mean, Roman Reigns going out there, they're gonna do stuff like this every week. I mean, I don't know if they do it every week, but man, I mean, more people would probably get behind Reigns if they started having him out there doing these like kind of open challenge-esque type things. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Now let's touch a little bit on this main event, shall we? Because some big stuff happened in this main event where we did see Balor take on Roman Reigns. I know you kind of mentioned that, you know, you were kind of upset that we didn't see the Demon, and it kind of made sense to where you would think Balor would use the Demon to go up against Reigns because, for one, the Demon is unstoppable, and, you know, he needs the Demon to win these big matches, apparently. That's where he brings the Demon out. But, of course, they're not going to waste it on free TV, nor we're going to see Balor win last night. But anyways, the main event was good. We saw Strowman tease the cash in. He was about to cash in, and that's when we saw the return of the Shield. And this, to me, was the Shield of old. This was the Shield that I don't give a fuck Shield. That they just get involved in matches. They take care of one another no matter what. They're not going to see one of their own lose or get, you know, taken advantage of. And to me, it wasn't about, you know, not having Strowman cash in. I think it was his family, his brotherhood. His brothers didn't want to see him lose that title. They're going to keep that title in the Shield's hands, and I liked it. I kind of was like, oh, really? But after what we saw, and I thought about it a little bit, I was like, okay, it makes sense. Now they don't want, you know, they're going to help Roman because the odds were stacked against him. But what about you, After? What did you think of the Shield reuniting and returning?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to say that, like, I didn't watch really when the old Shield was together. Okay. So, again, I don't have that nostalgia to look back or know what kind of effect they had necessarily. So I'll let you guys speak to that. But, I mean, I think the match in itself was very, very good. And I think the words that I kept seeing, I see King Mike said it, I was so surprised. Even though we kind of knew Roman was going to win, like there were moments where it really didn't look like that was going to happen. And I think we finally got like an unexpected ending. And from what I saw on Twitter and social media in general, that's something that we hadn't gotten on Raw in a very, very long time. And to be refreshed, where, like, for me, I'm a Seth Rollins guy, but I also really like Braun Strowman. So it had me in emotional turmoil, legitimately, when all that stuff happened. So I'm interested to see what the fallout is from this. But I loved from the beginning when Roman brought Finn out to let him challenge him for the Universal title, and I thought the match was it was very well balanced. It wasn't too quick. It wasn't too slow. It showed off both of their strengths, and the ending was really good too. So all in all, I was very, very satisfied and pleased by the ending.
Oh, yeah, I gotta agree with you. I thought the match in the whole was good. I look at one point, Roman Reigns was hurt, grabbing his shoulder. I know Speeds touched on it last night on his show where Finn, you know, did dove out of the ring, landed on Reigns' shoulder like full weight, but looked like Reigns is okay. So, but I mean, it was a really good match. But Dave, you said you have in mind some people that can help Strowman.
Yeah, and to touch on what my thoughts on the ending of this, I mean, yeah, it was a surprise, and when I seen them come out, I was like, okay, but when you look at it, Strowman said that I'm going to be a man and look you in the eye face to face when I cash in. I'm not going to be like all these other guys sneak up and cash in on you, which is exactly what Strowman did last night. And so that's what I've seen some people say too, is that, Strowman went back on his word, so the Shield is here to correct injustice. And so that's why they came out, because he wasn't being honorable or whatever. So that's why some people say, oh, the Shield turned heel last night. They're heels now. And it's like, to me, no, it was kind of like maybe Strowman in a way. But yeah, like I said, I mean, he's not really doing nothing anyway. So if Strowman wants some help or backup, who better than Bobby Lashley to help him out?
Well, yeah, that could help. Someone in the chat room, I'm not sure who it was, but maybe Rollins. I'm not sorry, excuse me, Ziggler and McIntyre. Maybe they can join forces with Strowman. Thank you, Young Graf, for the Super Heart as well. I appreciate that.
To me, that doesn't fit too well, but I get because they're feuding with Ambrose and Rollins. That's why they might throw them in there. But to me, it's just an odd pairing because it's like, yeah, Strowman needing any kind of backup. That's why Bobby Lashley, I only said that simply because to me, he's on that same level with them. I'm not saying Ziggler and Drew isn't, but really they're not at this moment. I think you can even say Lashley isn't, but to me, he's still considered a top main event guy. Maybe not right now, but he has been in that picture with Roman.
Yeah, McIntyre is a beast. I will agree with you 100%, Hall 3704. What else is there to touch on Raw? I mean, we had the 6-woman tag match. I mean, it's nothing really exciting about that. We had Elias Curt Hawkins, which was kind of decent. With Hawkins having this losing streak, it's going to make every match a little bit more and more intriguing because you're going to think, oh, maybe Hawkins finally wins. But I think the outcome of the Shield returning, makes next week's Raw a little bit more intriguing because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if this was just like one – it isn't – I was going to say a one-time deal, but obviously it won't be since they're going to be teaming up in the Super Show. But
yeah, and it's going to be in Bizarro Land. Remember, Canada's Bizarro Land, so if Reigns gets booed, it's because they're in Canada.
Oh, no, it's in Australia. It's in Australia.
Oh, I thought it was in Canada next week.
Is it in Canada next week? Oh, I was talking about the Super Show.
Well,
he's not going to get booed. He's not going to get booed with the Shield.
Well, no, I'm just saying they like to throw that out there when anytime a good guy gets booed. It's because we're in Bizarro Land.
Oh, yes, definitely. They always that's always mentioned as well. I have to agree with you on that. Man, I'm trying to think of anything else to touch on Raw because it seemed like last night's Raw kind of flew by. Last night's Raw was probably the best Raw that they've had. I mean, last week's Raw was pretty solid too, but it was from top to bottom to me, other than that little bit of well, some people liked it, some people didn't, the B team segments. And then the AOP. I thought everything else was kind of solid. And the Shield was the nice cherry on the top. And it was kind of weird. I don't know if anybody else kind of thought to themselves, why is the table at ringside tonight? And, well, we got why at the end of the night. So, Brandon After.
Was it?
Yeah, it was at ringside. Yeah, he went to the table, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I guess it just flew over my head, like, thinking it was ringside. I guess I didn't catch that. Maybe because they didn't want him to run all the way up to the stage and powerbomb him through that table again.
How silly would it have been if the Shield was beating up Strowman while he's going up the ramp? And obviously, they could have all three picked him up, but that still would have looked damn silly. So it looks better than the table's just right there. Boom, powerbomb.
It was cool to see Rollins and Ambrose in the old school, Shield attire. And the only thing that's missing from that last night was Rollins having a blonde streak. That was the only thing missing.
To me, this is just setting up. When do you think Ambrose turns on Reigns and Rollins after?
I don't know. I'm not convinced it's going to happen soon.
Okay, you think they're going to be a Shield team for a while?
I mean, I don't see why not. Like, I get why people expect him to turn heel, but at the same time, like, I think he's pretty good in the role that he's in right now. He's going to snap at some point. We all know that. That's just how the business works, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Okay, what about you, Bizarre One?
Yeah, I mean, would they really want to mess with this really right now or anytime soon? Look at the New Day. How long they've been together. They're killing it in merchandise. That's why they're still together. And I'm sure the Shield is right up there too. And in case you didn't know, there's a new shirt already available. But yeah, I mean, But yeah, I don't see it happening. I mean, like I think I talked about before, I just don't see him doing it. I wouldn't be surprised if Ambrose and Rollins or Ambrose and Reigns end up being the tag champions sooner than later, where they have all the titles.
Yeah, how funny was that? Like, not even maybe 30 minutes after Raw was over, they already had a new shirt for the Shield. I mean, they were not holding back at all. They were ready to make that moolah last night after Raw. So after, I know you got to be getting going after this Raw, after we touch on Raw. So we do appreciate after again for taking time for hopping on with us.
Of course, thank you guys for having me.
Touching on Raw with us and touching on SummerSlam and everything in the last couple of days. We do really appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. You want to do a little cheap plug before we get your rating for Raw?
No cheap plugs. Just happy to be here.
All right. So ratings 1 through 5. What would you think? What did you think of Raw last night?
3.5.
Okay. 3.5.
3.5. Like I think it could have been a 4 or 4.5, but I think the Rousey angle really shot it down a couple notches for me.
Okay. And what about you, Bizarre One?
Well, I think a 3 is fair because to me, most of the show wasn't really that good, in my opinion. But it ended with a really good main event match and a really good ending surprise Raw. That's what was the best part of the show to me, the ending and the match. And to me, most of Raw was just kind of an average Raw. There wasn't nothing spectacular happening, so I'll say a 3.
Okay. All right. 3 from the Bizarre One. I'm going to give Raw a 4. I thought Raw was really good. We didn't get Brock Lesnar as scheduled as he was supposed to be on, but we didn't get Brock. We got a really good main event. We got the Shield returning, which was pretty good. What else did we get? The Ambrose and Ziggler match. And then I just thought a 4 was – I actually – when I can sit through a 3-hour Raw and then when it's over, I'm like, wow, it's already 10 o'clock. It's over. That's just pretty solid Raw. So I'm going to give it a 4. So back-to-back weeks of positive ratings for Raw. That's unbelievable, everybody. So hopefully we can continue on next week. We shall see. But Brendan, after, I'll let you go here. Thank you for joining us. Really do appreciate your support, and hopefully you can jump on us with us on maybe next week.
Yeah, I'm not going to jump on you. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, happy to be here, and I appreciate you and Dave letting me join you so much in the last few days. It's been great.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, and thank you again, and have a great rest of your night, my friend.
All right, take care.
Hey, thanks.
What happened to Rude and even Mojo? Is Mojo pushed over?
Apparently so.
I have no idea. Yeah, you haven't seen Rude or Mojo in since the last couple of weeks. So
yeah, I think more of Raw tonight, Tony, was like there was more stuff I didn't care to see that we seen. That's why I didn't really care for it too much. You know, like the Ronda stuff, the 6-woman tag, and then that tag match with AOP. It's just more and then even the B team stuff with the Revival. It's just more stuff you don't really. It was like there was some interesting stuff about it, but like the start and the ending, and to me that was what it was. The start, and then the ending was the best stuff of Raw.
I mean, I can't disagree with you. Where's No Way Jose, man? They've been replaced by the GOAT Hawkins. Oh God. It was interesting to see Hawkins on last night. That was different. I'm not going to complain. Hey. Him having matches weekly or every now and then is kind of intriguing because you're always going to you're going to pull for him. You're going to cheer for him. You're going to want him to beat whoever he's facing, unless it's your favorite wrestler, of course.
Yeah, I like Hawkins, but why couldn't they have put like Zack Ryder on that spot? You know, because why not? I mean, he's the more, no offense to Hawkins, but Ryder's really probably the more over guy in Brooklyn.
Oh, because you're saying it because of where it was at. I got you.
Yeah, because Hawkins is.
Yeah, I get you, but maybe because of the whole losing streak and they wanted the match to be a little bit of an intriguing one. So, and that's what they gave us. And I thought it was an intriguing match between Elias. I mean,
I agree.
Of course, it was probably something you don't want to see Elias doing. You probably want to see him doing better things. But, hey, all in all, he had a match on Raw and won.
Yeah.
What else can you ask? Again, thank you for joining us. This is Get the Tables podcast. We're live every Tuesday, Thursdays. And don't forget, everybody, and remember, put this in your phone, write it down somewhere, put it in your computer, get the alert going. No longer live on Saturday evenings, everybody. We're going to be live on Sunday evening starting this coming weekend. Sunday, 9 Eastern. We'll be popping on here talking whatever's going on in wrestling and whatever else you guys want to be talking about. Even every now and then, may even have some special guests pop on with us. But it should be fun this Sunday night. We'll be shooting the shit with everybody, and we hope everybody can join us. It's been an unbelievable week for us, especially back-to-back 5,000 viewer shows. Something I thought we would never hit on in a lifetime on this show. And we just got to thank everybody who came in here and sat here and watched our shows throughout the evening and commented and interacted and hit those hearts and shared the show and tweeted out the show and everything like that. We do really appreciate everybody's loyal support. And we do thank the world of you guys. And that's why I hope you guys go on our YouTube channel and comment on our SummerSlam video so you can get on this giveaway and qualify. There's about 6 people right now that have qualified. There's 2 comments right now currently, and then people who commented during the chat during the show. I'm going to count those. So hop on there, get involved, get in there. You don't even have to put no money down. You just comment there, and you'll be eligible to win. So let's jump on to, and hit up the Patreon, bitches. Yeah, we have a Patreon. If you feel like you want to support the show, we have a $1 tier, $5 tier. The $1 tier is just if you want to show some support, some friendly support. And the $5 tier will get you in some giveaways. Next end of the month one, September 1, we'll be giving away this Young Bucks pop figurines. And yes, I know. I need a soundboard. I need something. Trust me, man. That's what we're working on. That's what we're working. That's what the Patreon account is for. It's not for me. It's not for me to go spend it at the mall or go buy groceries with. It's from you guys. It's for me to get the show better, so I can have, a Speeds-like show with the OBS and stuff in the background and stuff like that. Sound the voices and stuff like that. We all want this show to be better than me talking and a Samoa Joe picture in the background and a Live Now sign. We all know that. So we're trying to get better. I'm hoping by the end of the year, the show will be more professional looking, but we're working on that. We're trying hard, and with all your guys' support, someday that will help. Someday that will happen, and we do thank you guys very, very much. And Speeds, thank you for all the positive support. You've been a real good help as well, and thank you for your support as well, Juanito, with that huge donation. Thank you. All right. Fucking porn bots, dude. Like, sheesh. Anyways, SmackDown Live opened with, nothing greater but The Miz. Miz says he was able to close his eyes and really feel that chant in a way he's never felt it before because they were chanting Daniel Bryan. 2 nights ago at SummerSlam, something happened, and now he has a family to think about, so he's going to make this short. It is with heavy heart and the utmost sadness that he has officially announced his retirement of ever facing Daniel Bryan again. His feud with Daniel Bryan has come to an end, and he did what he said he'd do. He beat Daniel Bryan in front of a sold-out Barclays Center. Miz did exactly what Daniel Bryan said he was going to do to The Miz. He punched Daniel Bryan in the face. That was Sunday. It's now time to move on to a new life. Daniel Bryan then shows up. Miz tells Daniel to get that look off his face. It will never say coward in the record books. What it will say is the coward begins to chant. The crowd also starts to begin to chant coward. Miz says it will say in the record book that Miz beat Daniel Bryan and is better than Daniel Bryan and will never have the chance to go against him ever again. Daniel tells Miz to shut his mouth and says his win was a facade. He told everyone he'd come out of retirement, and he did. He told everyone he'd punch Miz in the face at SummerSlam, and he did. So trust him when he says he will expose Miz for what he really is. And that's when we saw the return of everybody's favorite Bree Mode. Bree comes down and clocks The Miz. And that's when it's announced to everybody that at Hell in a Cell, inside of Hell in a Cell, I'm just kidding. But at Hell in a Cell, there'll be Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella taking on Maurice and The Miz in a mixed match tag team match. Try to say that 5 times fast. Dave, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good opening segment. I mean, or not? Yeah, it opened. Okay, I had to make sure I had that right. But yeah, I mean, it was. I hated the beginning of it though. I hated it because I hated when Sasha did it, when she's trying to say like she's injured and has to retire, and I hate the fact that he was kind of. I don't like that mocking the whole when Daniel Bryan actually. I don't like that. Not just because it was Daniel Bryan, but I just don't like the whole fake have to retire speech. Even though he wasn't going there, but it really felt like that's what they were headed. I just don't like that part, but I did like the rest of the stuff and how they did everything, and then Brie returning to the ring. I mean, you know what? It was obvious this was coming too after last night or Sunday night. It was obvious this was going to happen. You know, you just didn't know when, so now we know that it's going to be Hell in a Cell, which to me it's interesting because I know some people aren't happy about it, but I mean, like you said, they have a history between these four. And it makes sense, and unlike the John Cena Nikki Bella tag match with Maurice and Miz, Brie is the better worker of the two Bellas, so the match will at least be hopefully more watchable, even though Maurice didn't do much in the last match they had. It was a mixed match. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be fun, and I'm actually looking forward to this match. I mean, it adds a different element to this.
Okay. I'm interested in the match. Like you said, they have history. But the one thing I got out of this whole thing is that Bryan's pretty much staying with the WWE. Because this Hell in a Cell is after his contract is up. So that all other than him maybe signing a contract extension to do the pay-per-view. To me, this is pretty much stamping that Daniel Bryan has re-signed with the WWE. We don't know, of course, the layout of the contract itself, but it looks like he's staying.
Yeah, what better way to get him to stay than say, hey, how about doing a tag match? How about teaming up with your wife to take on the Miz and Marie? You know, I mean, how cool? That's probably a cool thing, though, for him, you know, getting to team up with his wife in a tag match.
Oh, yeah. You know, after, just a couple of months ago, he was injured and wasn't supposed to ever wrestle again. So I like Sean Ross Sapp. I really like Sean Ross Sapp, Bob Risky.
Does this mean that Brie Bella is kind of officially like back in the ring and she's going to be more part of SmackDown now? I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, is it just for one match?
With that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like Brie Bella because of the song, but I always thought she was, and it's obvious she is, to me anyway, that she's the better wrestler of the two. Even her last run before she retired, I thought she did really good against Charlotte. And I mean, I just think I always enjoyed her.
We'll tell you.
I always enjoyed her work more than Nikki's in the ring.
I feel bad for Maurice. She's not that great of a worker. It's going to be interesting how much she is actually used in that match at Hell in a Cell. I'll be there live. I'm looking forward to it. Probably wish it was something a little bit better for Daniel Bryan, but I'm excited to see both those guys live in person, and I'm looking forward to see what they do. And like Speed said in the chat room, it's another match to keep these guys separated, going one-on-one with each other. So,
and what I think it was Bob Risky or it was Budweiser who just said that, maybe Maurice getting back in the ring too more. I mean, that would be nice too because we haven't really seen her do much at all. I mean, when she had that one match, it really wasn't that good.
So how long ago was Maurice? I think the last Maurice match was the WrestleMania match, correct?
Yeah, very true. And I would like to see her because when she was an active competitor, she was actually not that bad in the ring. She was actually pretty good. But it seems like, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to say. And this will be Brie Bella's first match since that match against Charlotte, I believe. Like, officially in the ring and not the Women's Rumble I'm talking about.
I forgot that they wrestled each other. Charlotte.
Who's that? Yeah, Charlotte. That was Brie's last. Yeah, I believe that was Brie's last match, I believe.
Okay, Mike, 211. You said you want TV 14 back. I can make a suggestion. If you want edgier wrestling, you can check out Lucha Underground, or you can touch on Impact Wrestling. If you want edgier wrestling, if you're tired of watching a PG shit you get on Raw or WWE, I guess, there you go. Check Impact Wrestling. You get a little bit edgier shit there.
Yeah, you get a Mexican death match this week with Callahan and Pentagon.
Yeah, there you go. And I don't mean to mention other wrestling companies on a specific show, but just giving you a little heads up there. So, because you're not going to get TV 14 on WWE ever again. So,
Nope.
keep on wishing, my friend. Next, we did get Jeff Hardy take on Randy Orton, and that's when we saw Jeff Hardy go absolutely crazy finally on Randy Orton after Randy put his dick hand in Jeff Hardy's earlobe. And Jeff Hardy actually went crazy. He kicked him in the Viper. They ended up wrestling up the ring entrance, and that's when we saw Jeff Hardy. I mean, I thought we were seeing Jeff Hardy calm it down a little bit, but the last two nights, or excuse me, Sunday night and then tonight, we saw him do a swanton on the ring apron, and then tonight we see him jump off, I guess, a railing or whatever, kind of high off the ground onto the table on Randy Orton. So, do you think this leads into a Hell in a Cell match?
I mean, I think they're going to save the Hell in a Cell matches for the two obvious matches, even though I wouldn't mind some of the other matches being in the Hell in a Cell. But probably not. I would say your two big matches, Hell in a Cell, was if probably Reigns and Strowman and Joe and AJ would be the two obvious Hell in a Cell matches. But, yeah, this would be cool, too, because, hey, let's not forget, Jeff Hardy did say he would love to wrestle in a Hell in a Cell match, because he never has. So maybe they do give him a Hell in a Cell, because it's one of the things Jeff wants to do. Before he retired, he said he'd love to wrestle Hell in a Cell. But, yeah, I actually enjoyed this little segment / match or whatever it was. I mean, it kind of felt like a pay-per-view match you're seeing in a way, which we will see, obviously, I'm guessing now. I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was announced or not, but, yeah, I mean, this will be, to me, this is fun, and I like this idea.
So we got Hell in a Cell, which is 4 hours, correct? It's going to be a 4-hour pay-per-view. It's also a split pay-per-view. So you're telling me in the 4-hour pay-per-view we're only going to see 2 Hell in a Cell matches?
Well, maybe we get 3, but normally at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-views they only do 2 Hell in a Cell matches.
Right. And
maybe,
like I said, in the local advertisement it has Joe and AJ Styles, and that's obviously going to happen. After what we saw tonight, that is 100% obvious going to happen. Do you think there's only going to be 2?
I mean, maybe they could do 3. I mean, if they wanted to, but to me, I'm just going off of what they've always done. You know, I'm just going off what they have always done is like 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Because last year I think we got 2 with Shane and Owens. I don't remember what the other one was, but yeah, I mean, I just assume that we'd only get 2. But heck, if they want to do the whole pay-per-view in a Hell in a Cell, I wouldn't mind seeing Becky and Charlotte in a Hell in a Cell.
That is a Hell in a Cell worthy match.
It is.
That's a Hell in a Cell worthy match, no doubt about it. That I agree with. Rowan, see, I heard Rowan was hurt, but I didn't know he was out 4 to 6 months. Is that true? If it is, then that's a tough break, man. I can see why they lost tonight, but yeah, then let's touch on the whole Becky Lynch situation. Where Becky Lynch comes out, and I'll say that I liked the promo. I just didn't like it when she mentioned the fan. I thought that was kind of forced, really not needed. She's trying to get the boos. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to get the heel heat, but she wasn't.
And it worked.
She got cheered again.
No, but she was getting booed once she started blaming the fans. Oh, you're the ones who sold out SummerSlam. Yeah,
but still,
you weren't really behind.
But when Charlotte's music hit, she got booed.
Yeah.
And when Becky was taking advantage of Charlotte was getting cheered. Becky was getting cheered. That's not going to work in that type of a crowd. You can try that next week. That might work. But tonight it wasn't going to work with that type of a crowd. She was already getting cheered when she first came out. So what do you think they're not going to flip a switch that easy when half the crowd is not even probably from Brooklyn. Care less what she's probably saying because they're happy finally to see something they personally been wanting. Becky Lynch standing up for herself. A different side of Becky Lynch. Pretty much explaining how she's been frustrated, and you could tell that Charlotte pretty much inserted her way and stole her title away from her. And then we got the brawl after that. And I liked the brawl. I didn't mind that. But the one thing I did not like is they had Asuka out there.
Yep. Same thing as me.
I did not like that they had Asuka out there. Asuka does not separate women from wrestling. She beats the shit out of them. That's what should have happened. She should have laid out Becky and she should have laid out Charlotte. That's the way you stop them from wrestling each other and going at it. That's my only gripe because
I agree. I completely agree with you.
I didn't mind anybody else who out there was trying to separate them, but you throw in Asuka, and I know she's not who she once was, and her credibility is pretty much done with, and that undefeated streak is long, long, far away in Never Never Land. But man, come on, man. You have her separating them. That's just. I didn't like that.
You didn't see I don't think Carmella was out there, was she?
No, Carmella was not out there. It was the Iconics.
Yeah, I mean.
Can't remember who else.
Iconics and Shayna, or not Shayna, but.
What's her name? Manny Rose and.
Sonya.
Sonya, there you go. So Naomi was out there, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, not too long ago, she was wrestling for the women's title at WrestleMania. And before that, she was undefeated. In NXT, her booking was phenomenal. Some people hated her, like Texas Kid at some point. He was complaining about her all the time. And then she gets moved up, and in a matter of months, they just destroyed her. And they killed her credibility. And now she's out there breaking up fights. I mean, what the hell? I mean, she was considered the most dominant woman in the WE, and she was being booked correctly by Triple H, and then she gets called up, and she becomes getting booked like shit. And now that's what we're getting. Now she only gets on TV to break up fights. And we actually got Naomi back, too, so that was a shocker, too, tonight.
Yeah, Naomi took on Peyton Royce, and Peyton Royce gets to win. I wonder why.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying. Yeah, people were saying about that.
We all know why Peyton Royce got the win tonight, but
you know what? I didn't think the match was bad either. I thought it was a pretty decent match. I don't think it was that bad of a match. They're annoying, yes, but I thought the match was still pretty good. I think Peyton Royce is the better of the two in the ring, and I thought the match was good or decent.
Yeah, so we'll see if they actually put Charlotte and Becky Lynch in the Hell in a Cell. I think that would be perfect. If I'm not mistaken, the women have been in the last couple of ones, so maybe they continue that tradition of having the women in there. I don't think we'll see Rousey in a Hell in a Cell. Of course not.
I wouldn't be surprised. That would not go no because she'll probably be suspended. But
that's if she's even on the card. Yeah, that's if she's even wrestling.
Yeah, what was the Cell matches last year? I know it was Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, but I can't remember the other one. Was it Brock and Undertaker last year, or was that way before then?
No, I'm not really sure. I can Wikipedia it.
And somebody.
2017. Let's see. Last year we had in a Hell in a Cell. Not sure where we had Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. We had Rude take on Ziggler. We had Jinder Mahal take on Nakamura. Charlotte Flair, Natalya. Corbin, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Rusev, Usos, New Day, and Chad Gable and Benjamin taking on the Hype Bros.
Wasn't New Day's tag match in the Hell in a Cell for the titles? Was that last year or the year before?
Yeah, 2 matches were in the Hell in a Cell. We had Owens and Shane, and the tag match.
Yeah, that's right. That was really good, too, that tag match.
Yeah, the tag match was really good. So, there you go. So, at least we'll see some different better matches in a longer card on Hell in a Cell this year. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Becky and Charlotte, that's for sure. But also, we got Rusev and Lana in a rematch against Cien Almas and Zelina Vega, and we saw the return of Aiden English at ringside to help Rusev get the win over. Rusev and Lana to get the win over Almas and Vega. It's like this feud is not ending yet. It looks like Rusev Day is still surviving. Your thoughts on this, Dave?
Hey, I want some rebranded and new Rusev Day shirts now. Come on, you did it for the Shield. Why not Rusev Day? I mean, go on, WE. This is better. The fact that they're not, doesn't seem like they are going to go the breakup route now with having English actually not mess up this time. And that was cool. That was a really cool moment. And I thought this match was obviously who they let finish the match were the guys. No offense to the girls, but they had a better ending and a better finish to this match. And I think they knew they messed up that finish at the pre-show because, yeah, it was bad, that pre-show match was. And this was put together a lot better. You had a feeling this would be a rematch tonight. And I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't mind just a regular feud with Rusev and Almas. I mean, my fiance said, "Hey, it would be cool to see Nakamura and Rusev." I said, "Yeah, you know what? It would be. I wouldn't mind that either."
I wonder. Yeah, speaking of Nakamerica, remember that it's not Nakamura, it's Nakamerica. Remember that. We had AJ Styles, everybody, come out in a different type of interview. It wasn't your usual in the ring. It was kind of back to your 80s, 90s type of day.
Yeah,
where they would interview on a ramp instead of in the ring. And right before AJ Styles could say anything, that's when Samoa Joe, well, he did say a couple of words.
He got a few things.
Samoa Joe just took him out quickly. And that's when he called out Wendy and said, "Daddy's coming home." And it says, Joe says, "It seems they're making a lot of promises, including coming home to tuck the kids in, but Daddy's already gone. Night, night." I thought that was, man, if he wrote that himself or whoever wrote that, bravo fucking because that was beautiful. This feud has been so good. I am so looking forward to this match at Hell in a Cell. These two guys are going to tear the roof off that joint when these two guys go at each other. It's getting super personal. Now he's mentioning his kids, tucking them in at night. I mean, it can't get any better than this. Your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, this has to be a Hell in a Cell match, no doubt, because this is the perfect. I'm sorry, this other than Bryan and Miz, this is probably the second most heated feud right now, and we really didn't get a lot of it going into their first match because it seemed like it was kind of rushed and put together really quickly, and they didn't really have time to really build. But like Brandon Coutinho was saying, that he likes these slow feuds, and it's like it's going to continue that way. But in the beginning of this little interview segment, when I heard, "Ladies and gentlemen," I flashed back to Elias. I was like, "Oh, Elias is here now? What the hell?" It just, I assumed, "Ladies and gentlemen, Elias." But that's what threw me. But yeah, AJ talked about he's going to rip out Joe's heart next time he talks about his family, and then Joe coming out there and just killing it.
Butte. How you doing?
Man, I mean, Daddy just went night-night. I mean, that was great. It wouldn't surprise me if this stuff is being put together by someone like an Arn Anderson or something, because it just has that personal hatred feud, you know?
I thought you were going to say Shawn Michaels for a minute.
He's on NXT.
Well, no, he can always ask him for suggestions, though. I mean,
yeah, but just the way he put it together, it has that kind of old school feel to it, which I could be way off. Arn Anderson, I don't know if he's still booking matches or agent on matches or not, but I don't know. This just has an old school feel to it. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, Speeds makes a good point, though. Bills have been really good lately. Joe and Styles, Miz and Bryan, Orton, Hardy, Roman and Braun and Becky. Yeah, exactly. They've been and yeah, we don't want to see these feuds be rushed, and they have been taking their time with some of their feuds, and Joe and AJ Styles is one of them.
Yeah, how about next week, though? I mean, we're going to see the Good Brothers versus the Bar for the #1 contendership to take on, well, we know now, but yeah, so that'd be interesting. And also a women's title match next week, I think.
No, I'm enjoying the Orton and Hardy feud. I'm curious to see if they throw them into the Hell in a Cell. This is a very also kind of personal feud as well. But yeah, you said the Good Brothers take on the Bar next week to find out who they go on to face for the titles. What do you got next week, Dave?
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the Bar, but I would like. I mean, the New Day. Yes, I just said I don't like rehash feuds, but if it is the Good Brothers versus the New Day, spoiler alert, for the tag titles going forward, are we going to see Dr. Anderson and Dr. Gallows again?
Oh God, I hope not. I just want to see them
I thought their stuff tonight was pretty funny, though. I liked their little stuff they did tonight. But yeah, I mean, hey, I wouldn't mind. I mean, haven't we really seen enough of the Bar versus the New Day, though? I mean, yes, you can say the same thing about the Good Brothers, but I don't know. Either team was good.
Budweiser makes a good point. Where's sanity?
Exactly. But the Bar hasn't. You know, the Bar. I mean, to be fair, the Bar hasn't really been used right. Either has sanity. I mean, the Bar hasn't really done nothing since they've been there. So I mean,
they were off TV for a couple of weeks too. So
I wouldn't mind seeing more of. To me, I almost wish. I think a lot of people would agree with this too. You almost wish they would break the Bar up because these two guys would be perfect for like the main event picture.
Yeah, they would. Eventually, you want to see these guys kind of split apart and move on from each other and have a nice little singles run because.
Yeah. Look at the match.
Like after some, if they're not going to be in the title picture or title holders, you might as well kind of have them be in some other, feuds or doing other stuff on SmackDown Live.
I mean, think of the single matches you could have with like Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan, Cesaro versus AJ Styles, Cesaro versus Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan and Sheamus again after that one match they had on SmackDown where he messed Daniel Bryan up really bad. But I mean, man, the potential singles matches they could do with these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Also tonight, Paige is talking to some official and Carmella enters. Paige says Carmella looks different and says Carmella lost 10 pounds of gold. Carmella tells Paige not to title shame her and demands her rematch, and it better be a singles match. And that's when R-Truth enters and tells Carmella that she has been ducking her for too long and wants his title match, so he has to pin Carmella. Paige tells Truth that he does not have to do that, and Truth says Carmella got lucky. Truth stuff was kind of silly but funny.
It was funny the first time. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But Paige does say that Carmella will get a rematch next week. So next week on SmackDown Live, we will get the rematch between Carmella and Charlotte for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. What were we going to say, Dave?
I was going to say that, you know what, the first time they did this whole Carmella and Truth thing, it was kind of funny. But now it's like they're repeating it, thinking, oh, this is funny, childish. R-Truth thinks he has to fight a woman. I mean, it's kind of silly and it's getting kind of, okay, we get it. The first time it was funny, and then WWE likes to go back and kind of like Family Guy it up a little bit, where they do it too much. Where the joke keeps going and going and going for way too long. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's any Family Guy fans in here, but still, that's what they do on there. The joke goes too long. And that's what this is to me. It's going too long. Now, Carmella and Charlotte for the title next week, it would be interesting, but I don't see Carmella winning, and that makes you wonder what happens to Carmella after that. That'd be very interesting to see what they do. And it's going to be interesting to see how, not to go back to Asuka, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do with her as well now, too, with Women's Evolution coming up. But, yeah, it should be good. Another thing we didn't touch on, which I thought was kind of funny, is Paige's promo against The Miz when he was kind of complaining about the match. I thought she nailed it on that whole little thing with The Miz.
And what was that? Do you remember exactly what she said?
He said this shouldn't be happening to like an A-lister and all that, and she said something like that. The match is on and it's going to be awesome, and then she does the whole hands to the face to the Maurice.
Oh, yeah, and props to Paige. Since she's been announced as GM, I know she retired. Next night she was announced to be the new SmackDown Live GM. She's been doing a great job as the general manager of SmackDown Live. So props to her after that, an emotional retirement, and then moving on to something that she wasn't too familiar with, but she's doing pretty good as the general manager of SmackDown Live. Not sure what Tye Dillinger is. I'm not sure if he's heard or they just, we've said it many times. Creative has nothing for you. You won't be on TV.
Yeah, and credit to Paige. To me, more than, not to give, I love Daniel Bryan, but more to her than Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan had like a year, if not a little over a year, to process everything, and to go through different emotions through this whole stages. Paige went from giving her retirement speech and it being over to the next night she's the general manager. So, that has to be a really difficult. Nothing against Bryan when he had to do it, but, man, she had to do it the next day, and she's just been nonstop doing this whole thing.
Absolutely. Hey, exactly. Speaks to each his own. I don't know. I just think she's been doing a good job. Sometimes she comes off kind of corny, but I don't know. I just like the way what she's been doing lately. And
How can you not see the appeal in Paige? I mean, come on, get your eyes checked.
I'm sure everybody knows what the real appeal is. I get you.
Follow her on Instagram and you'll see.
Sometimes it looks like she tries too hard. Okay, I can see that. I can see that.
You know
I
what?
can see that.
I'll give Paige credit because her backstage stuff doesn't seem so corny and really bad acting, as bad as Kurt Angle's does. Kurt Angle's backstage stuff is so terrible.
Appreciate the retweet on Twitter, Kim Abell. Appreciate you. And welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Carmella and Charlotte, and if maybe Becky Lynch gets involved, and maybe we see a triple threat Hell in a Cell match. Could we possibly see that? That's always a possibility too. So
for the women's title,
yeah, at Hell in a Cell.
I think you're gonna just stick with Paige and Becky because that's the big match I think that people want to see, and it's gonna be different. It is. I mean, it's gonna. I think that's the match.
King Mike.
And the rumors were, I don't know if we really want to touch much on this, but there was rumors going around about that match that the original plan was for Becky to win the title, but they changed it a few hours going into the show because they like Becky chasing the title.
She's the new Daniel Bryan, everybody. That's what Becky Lynch is. What did you think of the Nakamura promo by Nakamura? And who do you think might be in the next challenger for his title?
That's a good question because they know it won't be Randy or Jeff right now. I mean, I don't know. Good question. I mean, who's Truth maybe? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to really see it, but I mean, really, I mean, what are they doing? They're not. You don't want to say he's still as champion because he just got the title. He finally just got his first big title on the main roster, but they're not really using him that well right now, and he's not really doing much. I mean, yes, maybe they'll do something with Knock America, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless you give him like a hype guy or something, I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea who's next. I mean, I wouldn't mind Rusev. That'd be interesting. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard. Who do you think would be next to Nakamura?
Oh, I'm trying to think of guys that are single wrestlers on SmackDown Live, and I don't. I mean, W.C. Miller puts Shelton Benjamin. That's a possibility. Nakamura would get the win, but Almas, yeah. Rusev, yeah.
Heels. But two of those guys you mentioned are heels, though, so would that really work?
The only guy that I could possibly maybe see, and you mentioned him, and it's only because he's been on TV a little bit more, is maybe R-Truth.
Yeah,
maybe throw R-Truth into the mix, and
you can even put I in there.
Yeah, and someone put Big E. Oh man, I wish, but now they're the champs. I don't see he would, but maybe they do throw in R-Truth just to kind of make it like a little silly back and forth between them. It could work.
I think you could almost, since he got the win tonight, you could almost see Rusev getting a title shot like that, with Nakamura. Those two guys working a little thing. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could go CN, but that makes no sense right now, which I think they're going to be tied up together for a while now, I would assume, for a little bit anyway. So they haven't really built up the mid-card division that well for SmackDown. It's not built up that well. I mean, because really, who could really go for that title? I mean, there's not really a lot you could think of at the moment.
Yeah, they haven't built the mid-card that great to where you can throw in guys off the top of your head. But, hey, but I agree with, throwing some guys, like Speed says, throwing guys that he's going to win against. Like an R-Truth. Yeah, Breeze, yeah, that's correct. Maybe they move up a EC3 for him to fit. No, Budweiser, because that means EC3 would lose. All right. And the one thing that we did was kind of surprising is that no call-ups. Monday and Tuesday, no call-ups. A lot of that rumor mill going around that there's going to be some call-ups, and necessarily doesn't have to happen now, but that was the rumor that, possibly see some call-ups, but we didn't get anything of the sort of that Monday or Tuesday night.
on that, there's also
week, I
rumors.
heard. Okay.
But there's also rumors going around that next year in 2019. Well, I wonder why, but I think we all know why it's going to happen. There's rumors that there's going to be another draft in 2019, and that's probably because of the SmackDown deal to Fox. So they want to get a lot of the big names over on SmackDown. Because really, if you look at SmackDown right now, a lot of the big, I'm not saying Joe and all them don't have star power, they do, but to the appeal of big audiences like that, I don't, because when you have the entire Shield on Raw, I mean, that draws a lot of appeal. Braun Strowman, guys like that who are big stars. I think we all thought during the call-ups this year that we were going to see like a Braun Strowman or Sasha Banks or Bayley get put on SmackDown, but it never happened. And Seth Rollins is another big star that you could see, and let's not forget, Dean Ambrose was the #1 pick for SmackDown, and he got took off and went to Raw.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean it's crazy that you mentioned that, and the ratings for Raw were pretty good. I think they did better than I think there was a music awards show last night on, and they had higher ratings than that. So what they're doing is working so far. So
yeah, I agree with that too. If you want to take Cesaro and Sheamus and break them up, how about Cesaro versus Nakamura for the U.S. title? That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah, that'd be fantastic. But let's get to the main event, which was the New Day taking on the Bludgeon Brothers in a no disqualification match. Big E was not able to wrestle. He was playing off some rib injuries, so we had Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston instead. And it was a pretty solid, really good main event. Saw some spots outside of the ring with the ladder and an elbow drop through the table to get the win for New Day over the Bludgeon Brothers. The New Day are now your five-time SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. And I'm pretty sure this probably has to be the reason why they dropped it was probably because of Rowan's injury, I would have to assume. He was injured during the match, I guess, on Sunday. I'm not sure how bad it was, but someone in the chat room said 4 to 6 months, so maybe he's going to be out for a little bit. So they had to drop the titles, obviously. But your thoughts, Dave, on the New Day winning the titles and the possible next feud for them, either the Bar or the Good Brothers?
Yeah, I thought the match was really good. I mean, a no DQ match, and they went out and just killed. This was like a pay-per-view match. This was better than their pay-per-view match. I mean, holy shit. I mean, this match is really good. I didn't see all this stuff happening in this match. Like, usually a no DQ match, you might get a kendo stick and maybe a couple chair shots. But they went all out in this match, and they went out and used everything they could. And they did tables, ladders, I mean, you name it. And it was a fun match, and it wasn't no surprise that the New Day won because all of us heard that Rowan was injured, so maybe this was a way to get the titles off him, and maybe this is another way because everyone's so high on Luke Harper to get him added into maybe a singles run again. I mean, man, because everyone says he's the better of the two, and he should be working on his own, and now we might actually get a chance to see him do a little singles run. Or how about him taking on some of these guys we just mentioned, like a Nakamura or AJ Styles or Samoa Joe? Those could be some good matches. I mean, man, Rowan or Harper getting a little push, that'd be nice. And, I mean, yeah, I like this match. I could see the Bar taking on the New Day just because we already seen the Club get a title shot recently. But I would prefer the Club just because I like I guess they're not really the Club anymore. Like they haven't really called them that. I think they called them more the Good Brothers now, and that's it. Yeah. But I mean, I would rather see I'm favored toward the Good Brothers because I like those guys. But yeah, I could see it being the Bar, which it wouldn't matter to me either team.
Yeah, I know some people are tired of New Day, but man, these guys can go out there and put tag team matches up against anybody. I swear, these guys tear the roof down every time they have these type of matches. Especially, you knew when they had no disqualification, they announced that this is going to be a really good match. And props to the New Day for now being the new 5-time tag team champions. And
what
happens next with them.
You know what that says to me though? that the New Day is trusted by Vince, that he trusts them to go out there and put on a, and whoever they work with is, I don't know who puts their tag matches together, but man, whoever does it, I mean, because every tag match they're in, it seems like, lately anyway, it started with the Usos, and man, ever since then, the New Day's out there putting on the best tag matches in WWE. I'm sorry, anyone who, well, no one on Raw is doing better, but still. Maybe Undisputed Era, maybe you're better in tag matches, but man, New Day goes out there in the main event and just kills it.
Yeah. They had a really good show, really good showing tonight, and the New Day are your new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. So we'll find out next week who their challengers will be for, I guess, Hell in a Cell, and then next week we also get the SmackDown Live women's championship rematch from SummerSlam between Carmella and Charlotte. So that should be good as well. So Dave, let's do it. SmackDown Live rating, everybody. What would you give SmackDown Live tonight?
Now, after last night, I was prepared to say, okay, there's no way you can top a Universal Championship match, no matter what SmackDown does. We did get new tag champions on SmackDown tonight. I'm going to slightly give the edge to Raw just because you had a world title match. Universal title match, I want to call it, because you don't get those, you rarely get world title matches on free TV like that. At least lately it's been like that. So I'm going to go Raw. I guess I would give just under, since I gave Raw a 3, I would give SmackDown just under a 3, even though I did enjoy SmackDown more than Raw. But because you got a world title match and that cool ending to Raw, I think I'll go Raw over SmackDown, so just under, I guess, a 2.9 or whatever, so barely.
Okay. I'll give SmackDown tonight 3. Solid show. Real good main event, but the rest of the show was kind of I thought I liked the Becky Lynch stuff, but overall, I thought SmackDown Live loses again to Raw, everybody. Unbelievable. Raw, 2 weeks in a row, has beaten SmackDown Live. I don't think that's happened in quite some time. But
well, that's really kind of unfair that we do that. Compare Raw to SmackDown.
No, because usually we have SmackDown better.
Yeah, I get that, but Raw has 3 hours to fill, and SmackDown only has 2 hours. So really, it's kind of unfair because Raw's only booking 2 hours, or SmackDown's only booking 2 hours, and Raw has to put together a 3-hour show, which it's easy to have some bad parts in a 3-hour show than it is a 2-hour show.
Right, correct. So, yeah, it was a pretty good, solid. I would say overall, WWE had a pretty solid weekend for SummerSlam, from NXT, from Raw, from SmackDown Live, from everything. I think WWE in a whole did a pretty solid job this weekend in the last 2 days. They have us pretty much excited for Raw next week, has us questioning what may happen, what Strowman's going to do. Is he going to get some help? We don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of what ifs next week.
Yeah, and that's a big key for Raw, too. Nothing against SmackDown tonight, but Raw left you with more questions and more like, okay, what's next? What's going on here? Are they heels? Are they faces? So they gave you more intrigue for next week. And SmackDown kind of did, but not as good as Raw did, because yes, you got matches next week, and you got the continuation of Joe and AJ, and Miz and Bryan, but I mean, SmackDown gave you like, ooh, this just happened, so what's going to happen next week? Kind of. Go ahead.
Little Zay makes a good point in the chat. What if Braun gets Bray?
That'd be interesting. Yeah, that would really be interesting. Now imagine that. That'd be really cool. Yeah.
So that's something to think about, everybody. So that's going to be an interesting. Monday Night Raw is going to be very, very interesting, especially if we see some more stuff added into the mix. Yes, thank you, Barbaruski. Don't forget, everybody, tomorrow on NXT we get Gibson versus Dunn for the cruiserweight. For the UK championship. And NXT in a whole from it's going to be the Brooklyn show, so that should be good. I'm not sure if they announced any more matches. I can't remember, but I know that is for sure going to happen. It's a shame that we probably won't see the Street Profits, but hey, maybe we will.
We might.
Yeah, we might. But I thought.
Yeah, but this show, but talking about NXT,
yes,
I hate.
Lewis.
Go ahead.
Just mentioned that. Yeah, the Lewis Top Cop says Eric Rowan has to have surgery on his biceps.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, touch on NXT. That's what sucks about these takeovers because it hurts the weekly product because you're probably only going to get one match, maybe two, and you're going to get a bunch of highlights and recaps of takeover. That's what it's basically going to be.
Yeah, and this sucks. Rowan getting hurt again. He's going to be out for quite some time, and can only wish Rowan the best, and hopefully he gets better. And next time, this is going to probably hurt them a lot because it seems like this guy's a little bit of injury prone, and they give them the titles, and then he gets hurt again. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens. But yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap up SmackDown Live and Raw for us tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed Raw and SmackDown. I hope everybody enjoyed SummerSlam. And I do hope everybody enjoyed our last couple of shows these past couple of days. We were, like I said, we were live on Thursday for Impact and NXT. Live again on Friday for our SummerSlam prediction shows along with NXT. Then we were live again on Saturday night with NXT TakeOver post-show, and then Sunday night with the SummerSlam post-show. And we can't thank you guys enough for the out. It was just amazing how many people came to the shows Saturday and Sunday and Friday. Friday we had over 5,000 viewers. Saturday we had over 5,000 viewers. Sunday we had over 5,000 viewers. It's just crazy, and like we're just close to hitting the 1,000 followers on Periscope. So if you're new to the show and just happen to pop in, we are Get the Tables podcast. We go live every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Thursdays are our NXT and Impact post shows. We touch on Impact Wrestling and NXT. And then Sunday nights are kind of our shoot the shit shows. We just sit here, relax with everybody in the chat room. We talk about whatever they want to talk about, and then we go over what kind of wrestling news is going around town. Kind of touch on it and talk a little bit about it as well. So all Impact questions, Johnny Z beats, we'll touch on Thursday night. We don't like to kind of mix. We don't like to cross shows that much. So Impact we'll touch on Thursday. We've touched on the Jericho stuff many times on the show. So hit that follow button if you want to hear more about it because we touch on it a lot. New Japan news a bit. Hiromu relinquished the title. Did I say his name right? I probably butchered the hell out of it. Thank you, Hannah, for the follow. Appreciate that. Dave, you know, did I say that right?
I'm not sure if I know who that is, but I'm sure Bob Ruski can tell us.
Yeah, give us a little rundown of him, Bob Ruski. But other than that, I don't think we have much to say about Raw and SmackDown. It's been a crazy week for us at Get the Tables podcast for sure. Takahashi, the guy who hurt his neck. Oh, he dropped the title. Oh, Hiromu. Oh, he dropped the title. Makes sense. Well, yeah, he's out for a year or so.
I didn't know he was a champion. So there you go.
Yeah. Watching SmackDown. Well, you might want to not look at the title because I kind of spoiled it for you. I'm sorry. And now attorney for the belt. Okay. All right. That should be good. But a great week in wrestling, definitely, Budweiser. And a great week of everything. I mean, the outrageous support you guys gave us is overwhelming. Like I said many times on Twitter, I leave these shows kind of speechless to see the amount of viewers and follows and hearts and everything that we get from you guys. So thank you so very much. We've had over 1,886 viewers. If you guys think about it, in the last 4 shows, we've had over almost 20,000 viewers. That's pretty fucking crazy. That's just insane. If Bobaruski, if you don't mind putting our Twitter account in the chat room, I would really appreciate it. Or anybody in the chat mind putting our Twitter account so Johnny can follow us. It's Get the Tables, but some people don't really know how. There you go. That's the exact spelling, how you spell it on Twitter. Thank you, Bobaruski. Really do appreciate that. Dave, anything else? And so we're live again on Thursday. We have a nice little break on Wednesday. And then we're back up on here on Periscope for Thursday night, talking NXT and touching on Impact as well.
Yeah, I'll just kind of continue what you were saying. Like, hey, thank you everyone for coming, checking the shows out these last few days. I mean, it's been fun. It's been a fun weekend. I know some people said they're glad Blickham's over, but I'm kind of glad this is over because we're going to have to deal with this again at WrestleMania because I believe it's at Brooklyn again in WrestleMania, so that's going to be another chore to get through. But yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Thanks everyone. We had a blast. Thanks everyone for checking the show out. Like getting over 5,000 for like 3 straight days. So that was awesome.
Yes, and thank you for everybody who also followed us on YouTube as well. Do really appreciate that. If you follow us on YouTube, that's the only way you can win the giveaway, everybody, that we're doing on Thursday night. All you have to do is you go on YouTube, you go on our SummerSlam post-show video, and you comment. You can just say hi. You can say boo or howdy do. It doesn't matter what you say in the comment box. Just say your name and say your screen name so I know who you are in the chat room, and you'll be qualified. There's only about 6 people right now in the giveaway. What's the giveaway? All right, the giveaway is this plush Andre the Giant fleece blanket. You also get this Braun Strowman display figurine, and here's a nice little how it looks from the front, the back of that. And then you also get this Undertaker t-shirt. All you got to do is you go on the YouTube, you comment, and then you'll be in the giveaway. That's the only way you can do it. I'm also going to probably add the people that have given Super Hearts as well. Feel like they deserve to be in it. So that's the only other way is if you're giving Super Hearts, or if you go on YouTube, guys, all you got to do is go to YouTube, type in a few words, boom. No, we don't have Instagram. Just our own personal Instagrams, and that's it. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty much it, everybody. We thank everybody for joining us again on Tuesday night's post-show of Raw and SmackDown Live. We'll be back with you guys on Thursday, touching on Impact and NXT. We appreciate everybody's support and everybody's interacting throughout the show. Let's hold on. Special thanks to also Jeffrey Cross, as always, Budweiser, Juanito Spees, Gary H., Reezy, and Michael Berry for the Super Hearts. Much, much love to you guys. And thank you, everybody, for popping those hearts. I mean, I see sometimes when I'm looking at the replay viewers that some people in here throw in like 3,000, 4,000, 2,000, 1,000. And those hearts mean a lot. And they do add up. And we do thank you guys for hitting those hearts until your finger starts to bruise up. And also, follow us on YouTube. If you don't want to see my ugly mug, you go on YouTube, you won't see that. We just have to get the Tables logo up. So that's another incentive to go follow us on YouTube. 10,000 from you, Budweiser. Appreciate that, man. And then also, we do have a Patreon. Cheap plug. Go to patreon.com. If you would like to, donate to the show, support the show so we can get, the show looking a little bit more professional. You can just go to our Patreon. There's a $1 tier. There's a $5 tier. Nothing too crazy. Not sure what the lowest amount you can donate, but I think $1 is the least. So you can go on there, and if you donate to our Patreon, you'll be in a giveaway every month. We'll be doing a giveaway every month if you donate to our Patreon. If you're a part of the Patreons, you'll get a T-shirt, the WWE T-shirt. Every month you'll be in that. And then also, at the end of September, the big giveaway will be the Young Bucks pop figurines, everybody, at the end of September. So you have quite some time to still get into that Patreon. So end of September, we'll be doing a giveaway for the Patreon of Young Bucks. So thank you. Let's do a shout out to everybody that's in here tonight. Kevin, Truth and Loyalty, Alice, Will Miller, Jeffrey Cross, Bob Aruski, B. Mike, Mr. Stone Cold Budweiser, Jose Rodriguez, Maz Fan, Johnny Z, Zay Simmons. If I did not say your name, please say hello in the chat room so I don't miss you. Jody Mania, who I know Hannah was in here. See, just in case I just scroll to the chat if I missed anybody. I know Jody was in here. Bob Aruski. Anybody else that I missed? Nope, I think that's it. I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, just say hello. Again, oh, there you go, Mr. Kovefi. Who else? Oh, Zay Simmons. I said you, Zay. I said you. But thank you for everybody for joining us tonight. I think that's it. I think we got a lot of fucking warm bots tonight. Yeah, Red Sox fan. Yeah, Red Sox fan did it, man. He didn't show up to the show. He's living up to his gimmick. Let's see how long it actually lasts. He's a good guy. I'm not sure what the hell his beef was with the After. That was crazy, but he's a good guy. Thanks, Budweiser. Have a good one, dude. Thanks to everyone. And we'll see you guys Thursday night. Have a great hump day. Have a great Wednesday. Enjoy your Wednesday off. Enjoy, watching NXT, whatever you do. Enjoy your Wednesday. And have a great Thursday as well, because we want to see you Thursday night, everybody. Take care. Have a great Wednesday. See y'all soon. Thanks, y'all.